Well, it's the big day to move the Dodge Dart out of its resting place. I think this will be able to do it. Come back here. See if we can get going.
Yeah, ain't none of the tires in there. He just wants out of the hole so we can work on it. I mean, wherever we can.
Anywhere where it has concrete under it is perfect, and if it can't be that, then just some kind of out of the way.
Let it sit right there. Drag it forward, park it right there.
Wherever Don thinks it'll be out of the way enough, and
Hey, the only people that we really care about is our way or not.
that's a good point. As you can tell, the little Dart has been sitting here for a minute. Put it in neutral. And here we go.
Hold on, Jay.
Hole shot. Well, that's probably, yeah, it's drum in the back. They're going to be smoked.
It's got everything locked up. Everything's locked up, huh? On the front, this front wheel's clean.
Look at how deeply this thing was in the ground.
Yeah, it's just a brake.
That's a foot.
I don't know if the shift link is hooked up. Yeah, I can keep driving.
Under the hood, it can also be.
I don't know if the shift link is hooked up because it might either that or when the brake shoes are locked.
Yeah, that back end was just totally locked. But then again, the linkage is right inside here.
As long
So
as it doesn't slide over into the tree or this truck.
Yeah.
Once it hits the concrete, it might break the wheels loose.
Ooh, a box of Cheerios under there. All I'm gonna do is just get in the back end and just beat the living crap out of the brakes, the drums, and all that. Take the tires off and.
It might just. I think.
Oh yeah.
I think the linkage is not hooked up to the trench because there's not much. There's nothing here that I can't. Nothing's happening.
Can't feel it.
There. Do it again, Dolly. No, it's not hooked up.
Nice. Okay, here's the plan. See back there, that fire truck? We're gonna basically use the fire truck, back it up right up against this, then pull the Dart directly in front of the fire truck. There you go. It tweren't me, officer! Okay, this is our tow vehicle for the moment. It's going to come back and attach itself to the Dart. See if we can get this. Believe it or not, I think this is a gas engine in that thing. Is that a gas engine? Hey Don, is that gas?
454, yeah.
Good Lord, that's a lot of truck to be hauling. It's all cammed up. Blip, 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 blip. Here we go. It's either gonna pull it or break it in half. I gotta admit, this is pretty cool. That poor little Dart. It's going if it wants to or not. We're getting the impression that the steering is not hooked up. Yeah, it's going all left, right, so it's got like tie rods or something totally disconnected. So Don's along for the ride. He has no idea where it's going or why.
Hey! Hey!
The fire truck sounds like it has a cam in it. Blah, 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 blah. Is the choke on? Smells a little fat back here.
No, choke's not on. It's loading up. That car's loading up again. It was flooding over, remember?
That truck's bad. What year is this?
87.
87.
It's got 8,000 miles.
8,000 miles total. Luckily, the towns of Lynn and Geneva had very few fires. This once again reasserts my theory that every car from the 60s had one of those on it. And I know there's a little bit of rust. Okay, there's a lot of rust. There's so much freaking rust. I'm gonna get it going though, you watch. Admittedly, this is not the glamorous part. Going through here finding every key that is a Chrysler. Beautiful old Ford key. You remember those, like from the 50s? International Harvester key. Yep, that's what we're looking for. See the shape of that key? Like that Pentastar 56 Ford. I like to have those hanging in my kitchen. I'm gonna go out driving the 56 Ford. See that? This is not the ignition key. This would be like a glove compartment slash, you know, trunk. Remember these? Look at that family of fine cars. Jackpot, dude. Don just found these over in the corner. Look at this. There's like 1, 2, 3, 4. There's like 8 of them. Do you remember these things? Remember when the keychains had that little locking mechanism on them? You'd pull that little piece up and it would unlock it. You'd put your key on there. Old Ford keys. This was when GM introduced VATS, Vehicle Anti-Theft System. See, that is something that looks like it is a strong possibility. That'll go over here in the pile. And finally, mouse poop. Okay. I'm the first human being to sit in this car in a long time. Get all the keys up here. Various trim. I don't want to mess up that stuff. How do I want to sit in here? Try this. The first key. Let's see if that works. Nope. Make sure it's not in upside down. So that's one that doesn't. All right, let's try. Nope. Because all those keys I just tried, one of them broke off in there. Had to extract it with some needle nose. And all the others just did not turn. I tried all of them like 3 times. I'm going to get out under the hood and hook up a battery. Because, you know, something that's always helped me feel a little more positive about these projects, I just put the battery in and see stuff working, like headlights or tail light. You know what I'm saying? It really helps the whole attitude if it's just showing some sign of life in exchange for all my effort. Transmission fluid. Bone dry. Shake the oil up in the front here. Bone dry. Linkage works. Doesn't feel like there's any kind of resistance for an accelerator pump. Vacuum line down there. Not sure if that would work properly or not. It has a zip tie up on the top. See if we can get some kind of power somewhere. We'll test it out here. Back inside here, just trying to make anything work. And it's been sitting so long that this switch has frozen into place. I don't want to mess up that. But man, it's like, it'll turn like the dimming, but it sure as hell doesn't want to come out. Okay, I got the headlight switch to come out, but no lights. So I'm going to test this right here, see how much power we have at this relay. Oh, when I first touched that, there we go, good connection. That's full power. There's a fusible link right here. I think I'm going to have to start messing around here. It's never good to paint the entire wiring system on a car. Okay, I guess first thing I should do is get some oil in it. Bought this on the way over there at the Walmart. Truth be told, I've always embraced technology. You can see by the oil I'm going to put in it and this. Dude, I gotta tell you, in Florida, there's anything from fire ants to, you know, there could be an alligator under there, water moccasin, whatever, but I'm gonna clean it up a little bit. Some of you youngsters are about to get a lesson in how the struggle was genuinely real back in the day. Get a tire iron or screwdriver or something. It's a Craftsman, it should penetrate it. There we go. Now, it peed on me, people. All right. I'll have to put this down. Well, it's later in the day, but I got one open. It's over here. See, this is how we had to do it back in the day. Imagine doing this on the roads. I'm not even going to use that. I feel lucky. Let's see if we can get this to go in there. Yeah, it's doing an ounce an hour. Good Lord. This is the turbo oil, though. So this theoretically should triple in horsepower. This is the old oil. Oh, God. How can I... I've been holding this can since 1973. It looks very brown, though. But then again, how could dinosaur guts spoil? I don't know. It's about 2/3 empty now. Where's the Jeopardy theme song when you need it? I'll tell you where it is. It's in copyright land. Let's see if we can get this. It's almost empty. Lip. Lip. No, it's not empty. Must be in the reserve portion of the can. They say these only had a quart in them, but I'm thinking 3 to 7 gallons. All right, come on, a little more. All right, that one I'm saying is empty. Check the dipstick here. Yeah, it might actually have a little extra in there. And because this vehicle has absolutely no fluid of any type, top off the tranny fluid too. Considering it hasn't proven itself to me yet, it's getting whatever I had in my home. This is, however, synthetic, so it's probably going to be Hellcat status when I fire it up finally. 700 to 800 horsepower. Probably going to take all of it. Well, yes, it is. I don't care if it needs it or not. That's what it's taking. All right, pop off this fan. I already loosened up the 4 1/2-inch bolts. Just getting this out of the way so I can put a socket on that crank. Because if I can't get that engine to move, to rotate, then the rest of this is kind of useless. It's got so much rust. I mean, it could potentially be worth putting an engine in, but I don't know, man. It's a rusty critter, so let's see what we got here. Just go ahead and do that. And that. And to make sure I don't lose the bolts in the spacer, let's set that back up on there and just put them right back in. Because it's not going to be rotating. Go ahead and put this on too. Because it's not going to be rotating if it cranks or fires, and also because it won't be rotating, it won't be pumping coolant through the engine. So thinking positively, if it does fire up, I can't leave it running a terribly long time because of that. Actually, I'm just wanting to see what it looks like to be doing a wheelie. This right here is one of the reasons why I didn't want to drive this thing home when I finally get it running. I'm just going to put it on a trailer. You see that right there? This has been sitting in a junkyard for about 20 years, and things like this just happen. People just take nuts off of steering components, and you know, things just disappear. So this is why I'm not driving it, but I have to get that back on there so I can at least steer it. Well, as I told you, the objective is to get this thing cranking, and I can't turn over that pulley by hand. That does not mean it's necessarily locked. So what I'm going to do is take out all the plugs, make it just a little bit easier if it's going to be able to. While the plugs are out, I'm also going to shoot a little funk down in there. Stuff that's bad for the environment. So I'm actually saving the environment by putting all the nasty stuff down in the engine. That's a wet black plug. I just noticed that somebody repaired the battery tray by just smearing some fiberglass stuff all across it and then shooting it green. I know you're thinking, wow, they painted something green? See that? That's just like all the others. Running a little rich. Running like, honestly, like a carburetor would run, unless it's really dialed in, you know. It's always kind of a, on something like this, it's just a very approximate air-fuel ratio. That one. And there's a chunk of something. About the same. They all look about the same. Running fat. And when you have a vehicle with points, running fat's the kind of thing that can happen really often. Screwdriver down here. Yeah, the points, if you think about it, since they're a moving part, they run the absolute best the very first time they work. And from the second revolution of the engine on, they are of diminished capacity. Isn't that crazy to think that? See if we have made any less tension on that rotating assembly. No, not a good sign. Let's fill this up with some crap, each cylinder to the top. I'm going to make more than one pass though. I have to make sure that I don't run out after just a few cylinders in, you know. So just a couple little sips in each one as of now. Now before I go, got a serious question. Doesn't it look like it's doing a launch? Got a guy in there with an open face helmet busting through the 4-speed, doing little wheelies each time. Okay, I'm thinking optimistically, it looks really freaking rough. I'm gonna come back tomorrow and see if that motor has loosened up at all. Poor little baby V8.